What can I say? What can I say? Well, I've got quite a bit to say if I'm honest. This is the second time I've done this video because, well, we'll get there. Okay, so, first of all, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I have had so much fun reviewing the footage because I just kept finding thing after thing after thing, and I really have tried my hardest in the, well, I haven't in the video. I've been great. I've not wrote anywhere what I thought I've heard as I've heard it, so we're going to go over that right now. The S7 Spirit Box session, few strange ones. There was that brrr noise, don't know what the hell that was strange, but there's one part when you hear me talk and you hear a girl, well, two of us, I'm not sure what Emma thought to begin with, but Ivan, without me giving him any cue, I sent him a little cutting of the recording. Straight away Ivan's messaging me back and gone, that's a kid, that's a little girl. And it's like, that's interesting because that's exactly what I'd presumed when I heard it. I'd heard a little girl say, I'm here. If you've not heard it or you haven't picked that out, please watch it back. But I would listen to the clip from Ivan's EVP. For some reason, that sounds loads clearer than what's been picked up on my GoPro. I'm struggling to talk. I'm that excited. And then I think I'll say something later on. Is anybody here? And you hear a woman again say hello. Emma, if you'll notice on the video, was the one who mentioned that, and I say to Ivan, the first one sounded like radio, but over the top you heard this hello. And then Ivan caught that growl, which I've always been envious of these people that when they do EVP they catch a growl. I have had a load of paranormal shit happen through the years. Never once have I heard a growl. And that, it's Ivan's EVP, so for that to be picked up by him, the only scientific, natural explanation would be quite possibly Ivan's stomach. But if it would have made that kind of noise, I'm sure on the night Ivan would have been aware of it, or would have turned round and said, my stomach's just made a growl, because it was such a noise and it was such a growl. I don't know if you're aware of this, guys. I'm going to just pull my phone up a second because I found this earlier on. But there are these things in British folklore and in Scandinavian, European folklore, but particularly Scandinavian and British folklore, of a church grim or a black dog. Now, this is a spirit that guards churchyards. This spirit, often depicted as a large black dog with red eyes, is believed to protect the church and its grounds from those who would commit sacrilege or profane the sacred space. Now, what's interesting is we'd agreed to never ever do a cemetery, purely because I think it's disgusting when paranormal investigators walk around with phone apps talking, spirit talker, ghost tube, whatever it is. These are places where people are meant to be resting, and not that it matters when I'm gone, but I would like to think that when I'm on my final burial place, such shit ain't happening, where people are walking around shouting, is anyone here? The only reason, and I stand by this because we won't ever do another cemetery, or we might go back there, but the only reason we done that place is purely because that it's been given the term Sister Dora Gardens and that they've removed the headstones. So, to me, the ultimate sacrilege has already been committed. Some of them we noticed, now we don't know if it's the oldest one, but the one we noticed under the tree at the end of the video in night vision, that was I think it was 1919, the girl had died. That's not even 106 years ago. It's nothing. That's an handful of generations. So I wanted to go there just for that reason, because I wanted to know if the spirits were pissed off, because I would be pissed off. Anyway, I'm digressing. I use that word a lot, don't I? But let's find a new one. Anyway, I'm drifting off a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to drift back in. The crystal pendulum. I completely understand the skeptic's view with it being an ideomotor response. We need to understand though in these things, and we need to appreciate that not all things are simply black and white. And I should allow this myself with my thoughts on the Ouija board, because I'm dead against Ouija boards, because I know most of the time the person who's getting, playing with my phone on a video, the person who will be getting the interaction normally, they've got their hand on the planchette. So every answer their deceased grandfather's bringing, they already know in the back of their head, so naturally can move towards it. But like I say, not everything's black and white. We need to delve in the grey areas. I completely understand that the subconscious mind could make a pendulum, could go off on a story, on a tangent, and start creating something to fill that gap. But if spirit does exist, I know my point of view, and I'm not going to, it's your point of view is your point of view. That's what I'm here for, to give evidence to hopefully, not even hopefully, because it bears no consequence on my life if you believe or not. I'll bring this evidence forward to give you a glimpse into the wider perspective of reality. Let's say that there are things the human eyes and the human mind can't comprehend. I wonder, and I hypothesise, whether spirit can influence the subconscious. So even though the subconscious mind might be making the pendulum move in a certain way, could spirit be influencing it? Because if it's the subconscious part of the brain, you wouldn't be aware of it anyway, because we're not. We live in the conscious part of the brain. The subconscious is always ticking in the background doing things, but it's the subconscious which makes us function day to day. That's what makes you wake up in whatever mood you're in, well, obviously with hormones, but the subconscious is kind of the controller behind the scenes. This is why some people might want to stop smoking, but the next morning when they wake up, they want to have a cigarette, because it's the conscious mind that's doing the battling, but it's the subconscious mind which what dictates what we do. So I just wonder, and it's like I say, it's an hypothesis, whether the subconscious can be influenced by spirit. And the only way we're ever going to find out whether this is the case is if we can verify something what comes through on the crystal pendulum, or if it's being used by other groups, a Ouija board. Now, I was the one holding the pendulum the other night. I will do a video on this because we did it the other night, but it was quite dark. I've got to be honest, I got quite excited when I was doing it and I weren't relaxed. But I've had it at a time where I've put a blindfold on, put the pendulum board down, spun it, so my subconscious, my conscious, none of me knows which directions, yes. I've had the blindfold on, I've asked it to show me yes, then after a few seconds, giving it time to build up, when I've took the blindfold off, it's been spinning on the yes direction. I will show this on videos. You know, there's so many questions here. Is it something everyone can use? To the skeptic, I'll put forward this: everything's energy, and energy is an unseen force, and through cymatics and through frequency, we can see unseen forces at work. So don't negate this, and don't negate what I'm saying as hoodoo voodoo. This is the ethereal, this is the things that we're trying to understand, that hopefully the believer and the non-believer, through these kind of discourses and these investigations, we can bring them together somewhere in the middle. Because like I say, not everything is black and white. I've got so much to get off my chest regarding the paranormal. Even, is it something from life after death? Or are we having a momentary glimpse into another dimensional space? Are you having glimpses of another reality? Are there certain parts, certain magnetic fields, certain areas, some scientists refer to them as liminal spaces, where there seems to be a merger between kind of the human psyche and reality, where things change? There's so many questions to be asked, but through these investigations, let's learn as much as we can, and let's try and break some of these bullshit walls down. So, the crystal divination, Norman tool, it's not even a common name. If I'd have said Norman Smith, Norman Jones, Norman Baker, Norman Davis. Any of those, I don't want to say common, because common's got such a negative connotation, but common means frequent, doesn't it? Any of those commonly used names. If I was looking to fake, I would have used one of those names, because you're going to search the local census and you're going to find lots of them. But, and you even laugh on the video. When I say the name Tool, I giggle, because even though I'm 50 years of age, there's still a child inside me. And when I've read Norman Tool, sorry, got to take a phone. So yeah, Norman Tool, I giggled. I picture a kid in school talking to his mates and going, yeah, I'm a tool. Shit like that makes me laugh. But I came away and I thought, well, I came away straight away and I tried to find Norman Tool. Couldn't find one. But when you're going back that far, naturally they're not modern day records. So I searched the census, and it's a company where you've got to pay money. Picture incoming. If you have a look at that picture, in fact, if you have a look at that picture, because I know my sign's there, isn't it? If you have a look at that picture there, and I've zoomed in on it, you can see there was a Norman Tool who was born in 1840, I think it says, or 1841. And he came from Bloxwich, which is my hometown. I'm not suggesting by any stretch that it's the same person. But it bloody could be. It really could be. The only thing stopping me finding out is to want me to sign up for a weekly trial. I've tried to do it through my iTunes account, but it wants to do it through Apple Pay, and I won't set my credit card up with that nonsense. So Norman Tool is someone from Bloxwich who, if he lived till 45 like the video said, he would have died in 1885. So yeah, interesting. So now we fast forward to the lone vigil in the dark. I'm going to miss the spirit writing, because again, too many human hands, and like I'd put on the video just for entertainment purposes, just to see what come through. I mean, if anything ever did come through like a name, I'll go away and I'll verify it. You never know. You never know. Like I say, not everything's black and white. But fast forward to the lone vigil in the dark. Now, my robot motion detectors, the blue one has gone off, if you've been following the investigation, several times at different locations. Sometimes it won't go off at all night, and then it'll be pointing in one direction and it will go off 3 or 4 times. So we can say from that, lost my train of thought, I've done a brain fart. Where's it gone? Oh Lord, yes. So we could have an overactive motion detector, or it could be spirit. But the other night, the same one went off 3 times in quick succession. That quick, actually. I forgot, it was a section where I forgot to press record on my camera, because just, you know, schoolboy errors that keep happening, they keep occurring. But then a motion detector went off that never ever ever goes off. Never. It's never ever ever gone off. And it went off. And what was crazy was, I even reckoned he'd seen a black shadow moving through the trees. I wish we caught it on camera, but it was around the same time that the motion detector went off. He actually described it as, I think, I'm sure he said it was like a black blob. Weren't a bat. We'd chatted and discussed whether it was possibly a bat, but he'd said it weren't a bat. So a bloody good investigation. Anyway, I'm rambling on and I'm chatting. I think I've chatted for about 15 minutes, which is way too long for the end of a video. But I hope you enjoyed the investigation. I really do. I have managed. I showed a picture the other day, and I can't say how excited I am with this one. I'll show it again. This pic. That's a ghost in a local bar, looking like he's ordering himself a shot, or ordering himself probably a pint of bitter, if he's from back in the day, something like that. But if you look in the corner of the image, sat down at the table, there's another figure. Now, if these photos would have been taken around 23 years ago, I'd have put it down to smoking a pub and maybe image pareidolia. But the fact that it's a non-smoking pub, I know people vape nowadays, but I don't think the landlord would allow that. That's really interesting. And what's dead good is no one's ever done an investigation there. It's our first one. Well, sorry, it's its first one, and Project Contact Afterlife, yours truly, has managed to land it. From that, I've had another landlord who spoke to me regarding a tattoo, because that's what I do for my job. I'm a tattoo artist. We've got talking. I've mentioned that I've been doing ghost hunts, and he's like, wait, come into my pub, please. We have something to happen. Every night I shut a certain door, or no, sorry, he leaves a certain door open, and he said it's a fire door. It's a big, heavy fire door. Every night when he comes downstairs, the door's shut. He says there's lots of activity in the party room. He said he hears stuff in the bar, quite a lot. So there's 2 exclusives coming for you lot from yours truly and the team in the next couple of weeks. With that in note, it's like a nug, I think. It's like a nug. I think I want to hug you. There you go. It's as close as you're getting, because you might have some. With that in mind, stay safe. Peace, love, light. And until the next one, let's have it large. Peace out.